Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well. So I was reflecting the other day and I was thinking about what is one of the greatest things that has helped me grow as a person and mature, especially in my relationship with God and just where He's wanted to grow me and take me. And I realized as I was reflecting, funny enough, that one of the biggest things for me has been reflecting, has been consciously and intentionally digging deep into questions about what God is doing, who I am, and where He's taking me. And doing that in different ways throughout my life that has caused change to happen. Because the fact of the matter is that it's really hard for people to change something in their lives if they don't know what they need to change. And so by me asking all these questions so much, I was able to realize, okay, so this is what I need to change. This is what I need to do to become closer to you, God. This is what I need to get rid of out of my life so that I can pursue you fuller and live a fuller life. And so basically, because this has means so much to me, I want to share it with you all, and especially if this is not something that you already do, or if you want to do it more and you're just looking for ideas and tips, this is the great video for you, because I'm kind of compiling everything here that has to do with that core thing that's really just changed my life in such a good and impactful way. So we're going to get into this video, and I hope you enjoy and learn something. All right, let's go. Okay, so before we get into the actual questions that you can potentially ask to reflect, I want to get into, well, how? What are some different ways that we can reflect on what's going on and just be more aware about what God wants to do in our lives? And for me, there's just a list of things that I've compiled here that have been helpful for me personally. However, it is not comprehensive, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ways, and it's something that I've been really growing in. It may not be natural to you at first, or it might be hard to do, but the more that you do it, I am very confident, especially if you're asking the Lord to help you, that it will become more natural for you and will become something that you have to think about less, consciously think about less. So let that be encouragement to you. And then also, here are the different ways. And one other thing is that for these different ways, you probably could go more into depth. Like, for example, the first one I'm going to say is journaling. So you might be like, okay, well, how do you journal? Such a real question, and I might have to make another video on that. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can go ahead and comment, or if you have things that you want to share about that, you can comment below and share that with others. So as I have said already, number one is journaling. Journaling has made such a difference in my life. If you can see right here, I have 4 of my staple journals throughout my life. They've all been seasons throughout my life, and for me personally, I love having a Bible verse on the top of the journal that kind of captures the season that I'm in when I started. And so this has been these have just marked such important parts of my life, and it's all in writing, so I can literally look back. And it's crazy because sometimes in these I've literally written about stuff that I needed help with, or like, God, I don't know what you're doing, and then later on I knew what He was doing, and I could actually make a little update on there and just say, hey, remember when you felt this way? Well, on this date God did this. And that's actually something that someone taught me and shared with me about how journaling had been super impactful for her. So just wanted to share that. Number 2, I would say, and this is super important to just do this, and this is talking with others. Okay, I am very well aware that reflecting can be very hard. Reflecting gets you into deep places such as your pain or things you struggle with that you might not want to confront face on. And so it's really important to bring other people into that journey, whether it's talking with them to reflect out loud and say, hey, why am I feeling this way? And then they're helping you reflect, especially people who know you really well. But also, it could be helpful to just let them know that you're starting a journey of self-reflection and you're wanting to go deep. And I would say the deeper that you go and the deeper you're willing to go with self-reflection is always the more you're going to reap, right? Whatever you plant and sow, you will reap. And so just asking people to pray for you in that journey, or kind of updating them on what you're finding out, and asking them, especially when it's painful or hard, is going to be really, really helpful for you. I also would just say that counseling for me personally has been super, super helpful. If that's not something that I know it could be controversial for some people, but for me, just having someone there and a Christian counselor too, to be able to hear me out and help me process, and just like a third party person in my life, who's basically there just to listen to me and to help me along that journey, has been super helpful. So I would also say that as well. Number three is talking with God yourself, like verbally. This is something that I've really grown in as a person, and it takes time, especially if it's not something that comes natural to you. So again, have grace for yourself, because it is a process. And for me, it was a process of even deciding or realizing really that I could talk with God about anything, including relationships, including the things that meant the most to me, including the inner places of my heart. And so those things I didn't realize. I was like, man, what if I like this guy over here? And I didn't realize that I could talk even with God about stuff like that. And so that's something that I've grown in personally, and it's something that is a little bit maybe harder to do for some people depending on the person, but it is something that's super cool, and I would encourage you to try it, because God responds, and he also, just a process in the presence of the Lord and to bring him into those conversations, it does something to you. And so yeah, I would really recommend it. All right, and for number 4, I would also say that reading the Bible has been really big for me. Reading the Bible, there's something about the Bible, I'm gonna have to make a whole nother video about how I feel about the Bible, but it has really, it says, right, that the Bible is sharper than any double-edged sword, cutting between the flesh and the spirit. Like, it reveals things, it goes deep, and it goes in between the places that are vulnerable and need to be exposed. And so I just think that when you are consistent, or when you find yourself in the Word of God, it will help bring things to your mind, bring things to your awareness that you may not even have realized that you needed to be aware of. And so reading the Bible is key. For this last one, I would just say, this is kind of like just applicable to anything that you choose to do. It is ask God to help you. Honestly, there are just so many things that have been hard for me in my life, and I wanted to do, or because I heard about it, because I knew it was effective for other people, because I just wanted to be closer to the Lord. And honestly, just praying and asking him, God, can you help me do this? God, can you help make this easier for me? God, can you give me the diligence to do this? He has provided. So I just encourage you to keep pressing in. If this is something that you want, is to reflect and dig deep. It takes time, so be patient with yourself. Again, give yourself grace, and at the same time ask God to help you, because he will help you. All right, and now we are on to the second part and the last part of this video, which is basically, well, I want to reflect. What questions can I ask? This one is a little bit tricky in the sense where, as you start to move along in your reflection journey, there are going to be questions that are specific to you and your situations and what God is doing in your life, not anyone else's, which is super cool. And God will begin to reveal that with you as you work in partnership with him, again, asking him for help and guidance. But these are just some starter questions, some general questions, some ones that have really impacted my life and that I've asked in different seasons of my life. So I'm just going to basically just run through them. And then, again, if you have one that you want to share in the comments that has really impacted your life and you just want to share with others, that'd be awesome as well. This is not a comprehensive list, just like the other one wasn't. It is just a few to get you started. So here we go. How do I feel right now? And what have I been feeling? Why do I feel this way? What is God trying to teach me right now? Why do I think that happened? What do I want to be and why? What is my purpose? Is there something I want to find out right now? Are there patterns in my life that I do not like and that I want to stop? And why do I want to stop them? And why do I think I started doing them and keep doing them? And then another thing that you can do is just kind of like, this is mostly what I use for journaling sometimes, but it's just like what I call venting, or kind of like a stream of consciousness, where you literally just like start writing about how you feel and everything. You're just like, whatever comes to your mind, just getting your feelings out, getting what's going on out on paper. And so that can kind of usually guide your questions from there, or guide what you need to look and focus on, because as you kind of get out your feelings or get out whatever's on your mind or on your heart, it's just, and you see it or you process it as you're writing, it'll kind of give you more direction from there. Anyways, I hope that this video was helpful for some people, and honestly, even if it's just helpful for one person, that is my goal on this channel. And something that I've really just been trying to press into is that, like, the reason why I'm starting this channel and just posting videos here and there is because I want to share what God has done in my life and the impact that certain things that He's taught me have had on my life, and how if other people can try these things too, maybe they'll be able to benefit from them as well, because people have taught me things, and so I want to pass it on. So I hope you have a good day, and yeah, hope to see you later.